Alright, we have a 2019 Toyota Yaris. I'm going to do a quick spill and fill of the CVT transmission fluid. I'm not going to take the pan off or replace the filter at this time. We're at about 44, just under 45,000 miles. But to get to the quote-unquote dipstick, I have to remove the air box, which means I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver, take out the clamps here, and I'll just pull that tube out and take this out, and 10mm bolts, and this whole air box will just pop right out of there. I'll unplug the MAF sensor as well, right there. Alright, so doing this one-handed, so excuse the usual bad camera work. 10mm. Unplug that. Give it a wiggle and unplug. Alright, I can't do it one-handed. I'm going to pause it here. Actually, I don't think I'm even going to take that off. I'm just going to flop this box upside down over here. Okay. So a little tray over there. Alright, so we got a little clip here, little spring clip right here, and another one on the other side. Hooks in these little dongers on the end. Alright. So yeah, it's got that laying up or upside down. Now this thing has just got rubber grommets and another one down here below. So it just, the whole thing just lifts out. Again, one-handed. I'll show you after I pull it out. Alright, so the whole thing comes up. Alright, so the whole thing comes up, it's one piece. Not a big deal. There's that grommet on the bottom there, and the two grommets on top. Set that down. And now we can see if I get some light on it. Down here is a 10mm bolt, and I'll get some light and I'll show you that better. That I'm going to loosen up and pull this little dipstick out for the transmission fluid. Alright, so there it is down in there. So let's get a 10mm on that and loosen that up. Just a short little screw. And there's the dipstick. Right down there. pull it up, and you see what you got. But of course the engine's not running and the engine's not warmed up, so we don't get to see the level of it, but it's the factory level, so it's full. And we noticed that on this Toyota, it's a Mazda, of course, we know that already. It's a Mazda 2. And on the other side of the handle, it says FZ, which means you only use Mazda Original FZ ATF in it. It's supposed to be blue, I think, when it's fresh. All right. There's a bottle of it. You got to get it from Mazda. It's the only place you're going to get it. Best I can tell on a spill and fill, different resources say it'll put out 2.5 to 4.5 quarts. I guess the 4.5 quarts is if you take the pan down and pull out the strainer. I'm not doing that today, but if you need the strainer part number, it's I wrote it down on the box, FZ11 21500. And if you're the pan itself does not use a gasket, it uses the Mazda Gray RTV silicone. I priced it at a couple different dealers. It's around $12 to $15 a tube, and the price for the filter is about 60 bucks. Now to get to the drain, I'm gonna have to take off this this shield down below, and there's all right, yeah, with the vehicle up on some jack stands, just so you can reach up underneath it here. And rear wheel's chalked back there. You can't see that, but there's chalk. Emergency brake set. In the front here, there are 10 millimeter. There's 7 of them all the way around. Down there, one back here, and then this is the driver's side over here. So they're all, it's the same, it's symmetrical. So there's 7 of them. Loosen those up, 10 millimeter, and then 10 millimeter gets right on that, loosen them up. And then there's push pin type clips in the back side that like here's an example of one right there. So then you got to pull up the push button to get them all around the back side of it, and then this cover should come down. And if there's more than that, I'll let you know, but that's what I think it is. This is what those things look like. Pop out the button. Alright, so after the pan comes down, after you take out the elastic, it does fall right down on you. So have some eye protection on so dirt and ground don't fall in your eyes. Ask me how I know. Alright, so we get that out of the way. And right up here, driver's side front. Let's get some better light on it. It's supposed to be an 8 millimeter Allen head. So I'm gonna go get my 8 millimeter Allen head and something to get some leverage on it, and pop that loose. But make sure you have a pan underneath. All right, it's pretty tight, so get some leverage on that, and use an open end wrench to extend that. Give me some leverage. Ooh. When you hear it snap, boy, is it a scary sound. All right. Okay, it ain't loose enough to do by hand yet. pan underneath it. I marked up on the sides to give me an idea of the how many quarts it is that I'm taking out, because you want to put in the exact same amount that you're taking out. All right, we're ready. Yeah, that's not blue anymore. And looking at the plug, don't look like there's any. I think it's magnetic. Ain't nothing stuck to it. All right, sit this down. And now my hand's all oily. Pause this. We'll just drain it and put the plug back in and refill what we measure out. All right. I think the total capacity is around, I can't remember, 7.5, 7.6 quarts. I took out the jack stand on this side and lowered the jack so more would drain out, and it's starting to come out, stream out better. Right now we're at 4 quarts. The more you can get out, the better. I think, like I said, if you take the filter down, they say it's around 4.5 quarts. But we'll see how it times out here. I'll just let it go for another few minutes, and as long as it's coming out pretty steady stream. I got it as lowered as I can go. I'm not going to take the other stand out. I'm just too lazy for that. So, all right. Well, if I can get my hand out of the way, putting some light behind the bucket. We're just over 4 quarts out of there, 4.1 maybe. Yeah, it's about a 4.1 quarts. We're down to a drip, so I'm gonna put the plug back in and then prep for measuring out exactly what I'm putting in there, and I'll come back. Hold on a second. All right, so yeah, that's not blue anymore. Let's say it's on the old side. So since I know it's 4 quarts and then a little some, I'm just going to dump 4 quarts in, and then I'll empty the pan into the 4 quarts and then see what's left over, measure what's left over, and then I'll pop open a 5th quart and add just that amount. But here's my setup. Just a simple long funnel, fits right down in there. Right down in there. Can you see the blue goodness against the background of the red? You probably can't, but trust me, it's a very light blue, almost like glass cleaner blue. All right, 1 quart down. You don't need to watch me pour 3 more quarts. Yeah, with the light on, you can actually see that blueness. All right, getting those final drips. 4 quarts in. Now it's time for me to start pouring it out of my pan and into each bottle one at a time and see what's left over. Or I can just guesstimate. I don't know. How nerdy do I want to be? This stuff is liquid gold. It's anywhere from $22 to $29 a quart. I got it online for $22 a quart. My local dealership wanted $29 a quart. With shipping, I still saved money. So, shop around. You can find it. All right, 4 quarts and 4 ounces exactly is the total amount that came out of there, just spilling it. So I'm I'm going to add 4 more ounces out of another bottle. After some calculating, I determined that 4 ounces out of the bottle would take me to right about there. So I'm going to transfer that mark onto my full bottle and then pour into that mark. First try. Right at my mark. Maybe a hair too much, but right about there. Alright, so I got the, you can't see what I'm pointing at there. I got the dipstick put back in. I'm going to put the screw in that and reverse procedure for taking it apart and putting it back together. Getting the big air box thing shoved back in on its grommets, which is, here's the locator for one and the other 2 locators there. Tighten up the screw and put in your air filter, and that's it. So now, and of course, wanted to mention that yes, I did clean out the funnel before I poured the fresh into the transmission after measuring out the little portion at the end, because you don't want to put dirt and grime back in again. So I cleaned out the funnel real good with some brake cleaner. So that's spill and fill transmission fluid, Mazda Original ATF FZ for a 2019 Toyota Yaris, which of course is a Mazda 2. As you see, Mazda all over, all the parts everywhere. It's a Mazda. So hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. All right, just so we have a better, clear picture. The screws, the 10mm screws, are here, 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 here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess there's 8 of them. And then the little push pin things run along back here. So 6 of them. Of course, you already know this is what you take off to change the oil. Okay, final note, after you do it all, run through the gears. So put your foot on, keep your foot on the brake there and just run through the gears. Give that stuff a chance to circulate.
Welcome to Latino USA. I'm Manuel Fosa. Dear listener, we have a warning for you. It's a little bit different because we're warning you that you're probably going to get really hungry as you listen to this episode. Okay, you've been warned.
I'm waiting for the revving RPMs to go down. Just want to get the juices flowing. Just give them a few seconds each one. There's nothing that needs to be reset because technically it's not a required service. In fact, if you try to look up the parts or the actual ATF for it, Toyota just tells you it's not required service. There's, you can't even get the filter for it. I had to go do some internet digging to get all that. So anyway, there you have it. And I'm at 44,419 miles. That's with last time I finally am saying goodbye.